I'm not matching profiles, I'm matching people.
How far are you willing to go to become you? I'm asked the same question every morning. The connection has been lost to each other and to ourselves. Toxicity continues to rise while self-worth continues to fall. This was created out of sheer necessity, the desire to create change and curve the culture back to connection. My journey has rerouted my idea of who I'm becoming. Connection begins within, continues outward. Love you, then love me, in that order. If I'm about to get uncomfortable, then so are you. I'm learning who I am. Now I want to get to know you. Connection over convenience.
So I think it's time for the truth. I think it's time for people to get really, really real. And with anything to do with relationships, it's one of the most powerful, one of the most important things. I'd say the most important thing, relationship and connection and communication in all of our lives, because it expands into every relationship, business, personal, family, and the relationship with ourselves. But people put it at the bottom of the pile because they're chasing the next high, or they're chasing the holiday because they think the holiday is going to fix their relationship.
We're chasing happiness, right?
Yep, chasing happiness. It's like chasing peace. You know, I often get that to people when they're going on that inwards journey, and they're, you know, and I'll say to them, and I'll sit there and I'll be laughing, but in a way coming from love. And I'm like, stop looking for it. Stop. It's like, you know, when people are looking to experience the void or experience the absolute, like you can't find it. Like, good luck with that.
It's
Keep
so
finding
true.
it, and you'll be like the monkey in your mind will just feed you some bullshit, and you know your ego is fucking with you.
So much truth to that. You know, I was searching for a relationship. I wanted to be in a relationship so bad.
Yeah.
That becomes like the forefront of like your existence almost. Like, I need to find a relationship, and you want to find it so bad that the odds of it actually working at that point, it's like, you know, the law of attraction. It's, you're not putting out the right energy.
Nope.
And so you're going to attract the people who really wouldn't be great with you in a real relationship. And so it's built on this false construct, I guess, right?
It's like, you know, when people say, you know, I want to be, I'm seeking enlightenment. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Where is it? Like, what do you, like, they're seeking it, you know, it's like the whole concept we said with happiness. It's like a butterfly. The more you chase it, the more it will elude you. And, you know, it will land on you when it's ready. It will find you when you're ready, when you get out the way. We need to get past this. And, you know, sometimes I feel like a broken record because a lot of people are speaking stuff out there. You know what? I'm just going to expose this shit now. And, you know, it's no disrespect to them, but it's those levels that we go through of awareness that we're all going through. And years ago, or whenever it was, we would have read something, and all of a sudden we become the evangelist and we start plugging it out. It's all playing a role. But you can start to feel where that's coming from. Is it coming from here, or is it coming from somewhere that's regurgitated? And I think a lot of people are hearing things and they're just like, because they're so burnt of it.
Well, it's dangerous once you're regurgitating, and then you forget something, it gets lost in translation, and I mean that's a dangerous path.
It's a dangerous path, and you know, we do have a lot, because a lot of people are seeking for that thing about what they want to do. So they, you know, just be with where you're at, like teach to the extent of what you have not only integrated, but you've become an embodiment of. If you are having to look for information in a book to then sprout and deliver from that point, well, you're going to get a rude awakening when we go into 2020, because it's all about transparency. And
yeah, it's a false self, or it's, you know, it's like the 20-year-old life coach.
Oh my gosh, don't. Where is your life experience?
Yeah, and we can read anything out of a book, but that's not experience.
No. And then we have, we're going off, then we've got the whole manipulation of marketing. And we've got a lot of these people that are coming through that are like whizzes at marketing. So here you have another mask. It's like another performance. It's another way of pretending or posturing to be something. But actually, when you get to the core of it, and I think we're going to see more and more of that.
Of what side? Seeing the core, being exposed for who we are, or the other side where they can just kind of get away with it?
I think it's going to get exposed. It was going to get flipped.
Yeah. I see it going here too, is people like that becoming more irrelevant in the future, and the people who have the true connection with themselves and can be completely vulnerable will become the relevant at that time. And I think this thing is going to flip.
Yeah.
I think this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
I hope so.
And that's why I think, the work that you're doing, the work that I'm doing, other people are doing, is getting people to reconnect with their true self and doing the inner work diligently as if your life depends on it behind closed doors. I saw a post this morning. I feel we're gone off track, but I saw a post this morning and someone is like, and a lot of people are commenting that they're not putting time in for themselves and they're not booking time in for themselves. But some of these people are like teaching people how to reduce stress. And I'm like, I can't. So I'm biting my tongue because I'm seeing that's a lesson for myself to not say anything, but also if that's what you're teaching, that is your number one priority of what you need to be doing every day.
Yeah, I think we're trying to put too much out there of all the things that we may not be great at or masters of. I shouldn't say master, it's a bad word, but but we're not prepared to be helping others when we're not able to live our own, authentic life.
Yeah.
And,
I don't know, like I get people asking me, how come you're not in a relationship? You're a relationship coach, why aren't you in a relationship? And the response is, well, until I'm met with another soul that's in that space and time on that same frequency, well, it's not even coming into my awareness. It's
an interesting question. It's like, it's almost like assuming everybody has to be in a relationship. And actually, we are with self. Yes, exactly. It's the longest relationship you'll ever have in your life, right?
Yeah, the most intimate.
And here's where it gets interesting: is that so many don't have that relationship with themselves, so they have to search it out in the others. And they need to be with somebody, myself included. In the past, is what I talked about. And now, I can appreciate when somebody's not in a relationship. It's almost offensive saying, why aren't you in a relationship? It's like we're expected to be in a relationship these days, right?
Yeah.
Except I know you, and you're extremely happy. Genuinely happy as a person, and so many people who are in these relationships that are preaching, why aren't you in one, are extremely unhappy in their life.
Yeah.
So it's not, like you have to be in a relationship. You have to be in one with yourself. That's.
I think as well, it's a societal pressure. People feel that, like people find it quite, and it's a reflection of what's happening in with themselves. It's like, I love to go and sit in my favorite wine bar and have a glass of wine and people watch and order some food and eat by myself. And it's really quite interesting. You see some people are like in appreciation of that. It clicks something and they're like, oh, that looks nice. Especially mums that have kids.
Yeah.
See that and they're like, oh my gosh, it's like heaven for me. But then I'll have somebody else walk up to me and go, you shouldn't be doing that. It's not good doing that. It's not healthy doing that. And it's like, wow, like, thank you. I'm actually having a really nice time myself. But they have this concept that you're lonely and you should be sitting with someone.
And aren't those the same people that are extremely lonely in their lives
They are.
right? And they could be sitting with somebody and having absolutely no connection.
Yeah.
Because it's a distraction, right? A distraction from their own lives. And so they're going to tell you how to live your life. I find that I'm so fascinated by that.
And it's like, because we're energetic beings, let's go there. Okay. Because we're energetic beings. If someone walks past you and then that's going on, that's their karmic stuff that they're working through. And then they're into your field. Now, if you then go into agreement with them, I'll say, for example, some comes up and they'll go, oh, look at it, it's raining. Or say, for example, the bushfires. They're constantly going on about the smoke. It's very obvious, the smoke. But like the more they go into that complaining, you then go into agreement with them and go, oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. You just take on their stuff. You just take on their karmic stuff. And when you start getting sensitive of energy, it's you have to really catch yourself to just it's like own your energetic field, and you can just walk away and not say anything and not even get into conversation.
We're in an interesting time where people are so opinionated and such the judgment on others. And I keep finding that these are the same people that are just not happy, and I'll say miserable in their own lives, right? And you wonder, like, was it because I see you as living an authentic life, living your purpose and doing what you want to do. So many others struggle because while they might have had this vision and of wanting to do certain things, they were held back, and they come up with all the reasons in the world that all these things that held them back, but really it's themselves that held them back, and it becomes almost a jealousy, I believe, that they're just more of jealous of someone like yourself who's living this life. It's sad, and I feel bad for people like that.
Yeah, I think it's I'm living this life, but I'm not going to lie. Like I'm still feeling leaping into the unknown, and it still is at times. I'll be really open and honest and vulnerable about that, like week by week, and not knowing if you can cover that, if that is coming. And it's just, I know, and I trust with, like, I have no doubt in my mind that is there to, it's like the test that we have in life is your resilience and it's almost like I feel like sometimes I'm being tested of being in that place of peak showing up, of being peak state of who I can be. And I feel that's when it really kicks in, when I'm in absolute, as some people would see, adversity because it's like all you have is to swim. All you have is to swim. And I feel like what I'm going through right now is this test of not losing that passion. It's like being able to have that as your natural state of essence, as your highest state, every moment to moment, as much as you can, and catching yourself. So then when it is flowing in, because you can feel it's coming in, and it does come in, It's like this game, then not getting complacent about it and not going, okay, now it's easy, that's all covered. No, I'm just going to lounge around, because to be in that peak state, it's that exciting. Even now, getting on and actually saying it and owning it, I feel I'm actually plugging stuff in out there, because I'm not just going, yeah, it's great, everything's rolling in, because it's not. Because people are sitting on the fence, and people are scared. People are afraid of change. And I guess that's what I do with people is I continue to keep leaping into the dark. I'm like the ferryman that takes people into the dark, but I'm still doing it myself.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. Because I know that everything that, and that anyone tuning in, whatever you're going through right now is there. It's like, it's perfect for your expansion. The resistance is your growth, like that meeting of being in that place of, I don't know, is one of the most powerful games you can play, because that's when you start to really get out of your way of yourself. You start to trust, you start to have faith in something greater that you can't yet see right now. Because if you were to have your life in 6 months' time, you may not be ready for it. So all these things that are happening, I can already feel it. I feel abundant. I feel overflowing in love and gratitude and all that stuff. And I feel just every cell in my body vibing. And, you know, and then I see other people out there that are like, you know, they have the marketing or blah, blah, blah. And like they've got this performing going on. And, you know, you do have that stuff coming up in your mind of, yeah, well, what is that? And because people are so disconnected out there that everyone's chasing the shiny card, chasing that, and the real truth, the raw truth of going into that deep vulnerability. And I feel 2020, people are going to be thirsty for it. People are going to be hungry for it, because they get disappointed when they just get the shiny card and they're not actually, nothing's really shifting for them. So that's my reality right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're living your purpose.
Yeah,
I know
living my purpose. And being in service. And that's been a big shift for me this year, has been in service of, it's no longer about me. It's about me rocking up and being a vessel for this to flow through, to keep not chasing something, but to keep being as present as I can be and trusting in that. And then what's starting to happen when I do the massage, like the sensual massage with women or couples, which I think is illegal in the US. I know in LA and California you can actually, and I want to find out more about this, because it's like, why is it illegal?
So what you're referring to is yoni and the lingam massage, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Sensual massage, to learning and guiding people how to connect more with their bodies, which is something we did in ancient times. You know, the women of the tribe would be in that sacred space, and they would take women, and they would also take girls coming into womanhood through this initiation. So they actually learn about orgasm, they learn about their body, and then they would, yeah. So I feel there is a time where this wisdom needs to start coming through more, because then there is no need. See, when you teach people how to embody this, when you teach people how to take this into their relationship, into the intimacy, then that industry can't survive. It will still have a place, but people will feel they have a deeper connection with things at home.
So I'm running parallel with this right now. This is very interesting.
Okay.
So what you describe is the porn industry would never go away.
No, it's always going to be there, because it's playing a role. It's perfectly playing a role.
Yeah, but that being said, so I mean, I don't know how many billions of dollars a year. I don't know how the facts of what the porn industry is, but I mean, I can only imagine, right?
It's huge.
So I'm in this like little space within this overly saturated industry known as the online dating industry. So the online dating industry is a $3 billion a year industry. Okay. So you and I running parallel. You're running essentially, say, against the porn industry, right? Which will never go away. And I'm running against the online industry. I'm taking, as a matchmaker, you know, offline dating, nothing to do with online dating. So both of those industries will never go away. So we're trying one by one to show people, bringing people to connection. It's connection over convenience. We're doing the same thing.
Yep.
And running parallel with those industries will never go away. We'll never take down those industries, and that's fine.
No. Mm-hmm.
But the idea is to find the people who truly want a connection with themselves.
Yeah.
And to bring them to where we are.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting. I never thought of the parallels of that.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why these conversations are, and now it feels like now the interview needs to begin. Now we get into the juicy stuff. Right?
You ready to record? Let's start. You ready to record?
Yeah.
This is the real stuff. No, this is real. Though. This is the real. You know.
You know what's really interesting about that is, I know in other lifetimes I've played those roles. I know in other lifetimes I've played those roles. We all have, and even from 2 years ago when I was working as an intimacy and actually getting quite intimate with people, I did sort of dance around, and I sort of was at a point in my time where I was at a crossroads, and I was like, okay, you can go down this path, you can go, and I was like, I'm going to completely shift the porn industry. I'm going to completely shift it and take it onto a whole new level. And all of a sudden when you have that thing, then things are coming up, opportunities are coming up, and I'm like in this power of choice. And then I'm like, oh, and there's something within me, like just going, like once you do that, you're right. So it was like, and I'm quite open about this. And I was really open with my children about, my family and I was at that point and I was like, no. And then I started, and when I said no, I started downloading other stuff and I started tapping into another vibration, which then they could feel because they wanted to feel it, right? And I was like, no, this is like pure, it's a pure energy and I need to show people how to teach this. So I see that the porn industry was created. I feel these things were created. You go way, way back in time and the woman that was seen, that was wild, was free, was fearless, like she was seen as, she was like the conversation of everyone. She'd be like, men lusted after, they would desire, even women lusted after her, right? But then she was seen as dangerous. So this is like the dark masculine or what other labels you want to call it. So she was seen as dangerous. So she was like, okay, we need to hide her away, but we're going to hide her away in a safe place. Yeah. So we still get to play with her. We still get to feed off her, but we're just going to hide her away because it's pissing the women off and we want to keep them happy. So we're just going to hide her away in secret. Already when you push something underground, it gets more. So I feel like things like this have been cleverly orchestrated, created. When you look at the Matrix, you look at all the causes, all the over here, I'm a group, I'm the lesbians, I'm the gays, right?
Yeah.
So it creates people segmented. So already this very cleverly orchestrated, like you can't even understand how big this is, has been perfectly aligned to be put there so it keeps people stuck, keeps people disempowered, keeps them disconnected, keeps them stuck in a place of shame, blame, guilt, creates this separation within society, but really their separation is in self. So yes, I feel the porn industry has a place because it's almost like the more we go, we don't like it, I don't like that, then we're actually creating resistance. We're actually plugging that energy back into that. It's the contrast, and the online dating is a contrast. So it's actually an awesome, powerful leverage to springboard off.
Yeah, I feel almost at this point, like my mindset is that online dating it's like my biggest marketing tool at this point.
Yeah.
It's like they can market all they want for online because they're marketing for me.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because once
or maybe I need to mention the word porn a bit. You say the mention. See, this is the hard thing. This is what I've stopped working with men because they get confused with the energy. People are confused with the energy, and I feel some of this work, the men need to work with men. It's been a long road for me to get here, and I was like, no, I can do that. But then they get confused, and then because they're being met by a woman who's seeing them for who they are. So then there's that confusion.
Yeah.
And I feel they actually need to learn some of the foundations from men, like as men, as brothers. So yeah, you know, it's interesting. If I say the word porn, you know, the women are going to run in the opposite direction even more. But it's like, maybe I need to play off that. So then they actually realize we address this, it reduces that.
You need to test that theory.
Yeah, I need to test that theory. But it is, you know, I've got friends who have been in that industry, friends in the US that, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. You start looking at the bigger picture, why things have happened, and it's just so it could go underground even more, to be controlled even more, to make more money from it. Same with the online dating. You know, most of the people that are doing the online dating are feeding off people's limitations, and they're constantly, you know, what's missing within them, and they're chasing it again because they're like,
they're chasing happiness. They're never going to find. They're chasing that void. They're trying to fill that void that they're never going to fill.
No.
You know, and this is why I love these one-on-ones with my guests, is that,
yeah,
you know, we're opening up that connection to this point, and we're diving in deeper than just the people that, you know, they know us, you know, at least they know my guests, what they see through the different platforms in terms of their business profile, but actually getting, you know, exposing and seeing who these people actually are, and which is great, you know. And I had a guest yesterday, and after the conversation, she mentioned that it was the first time where with some of these things, she brought up things that she hasn't said before on these platforms. She's obviously had these conversations, you know, in private with other people she trusted, but it was the first time she felt very comfortable to actually let these out in front of, you know, everybody to hear. And so those things make me really happy. Like those moments there where, you know, we're able to be extremely vulnerable and be intimate with each other in this environment.
Yeah.
One, you know, one by one is opening up the connection for all of us.
I've got a cat by my feet, and I'm just watching my feet don't get bitten.
Is this a cat you know? Is it a random cat?
I do. No, it's my sister's cat, their family cat.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it's a really great space of opening up to have these conversations, because there are a lot of conversations that people won't talk about, or people do these things because they feel pressured within their groups because the other friends within their groups are doing it. It's quite interesting, even the concept, you know, like I remember people saying to me, you know, you're a single mom, and I'm like, oh, like the energy of the world, like never. And I was like, well, no, I'm a mom, and I'm having the best relationship with myself, and we're a 2-parent, 2-house family.
Yeah.
You know, because you start like going around saying single, and then that's what you're creating that vibration of.
You can identify as a single mom, but it's not your identity.
It's not my identity. You know, I can identify, but I even though we're not together, I still have a really, really supportive. I would not be able to do what I'm doing if I didn't have a supportive other side of the team. And, you know, especially working with things like relationships, what people forget is, you know, they often alienate the other person, you know, that we're teaching one another, and it's about still having those connections, even though they change and they get refined. Yeah, I think it's really important.
Yeah. You said it all today. I think we dived in
so
deeper.
What else? Is there anything else?
We covered a lot today.
We did cover a lot.
Whoa.
Yeah. I guess I'm learning at the moment to, it's that dance between having a voice, you know, as a pioneer, you know, you have to put an opinion out there. Like you're going out there and you're just but also realizing as well of noticing in myself if I'm being interfering. Sorry, the tripod, the cat's on it. It's bit my leg before, so I'm jumpy with it. Where was I going? Yeah, like noticing in myself, do I actually need to say something? Okay, cat, go away. Do I need to say something, or is it best to say nothing? And thanks, Ariane. Yeah, is it best to say anything or just to let it go? And to really, I guess what I'm learning to do is see that person with love and compassion. If that's also, they're showing me within something within myself, I don't actually need to say anything, and I don't need to give my opinion.
Silence says a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The power of silence. So you ready? We'll do another podcast. We've done 2 now. Ready to build on top of this one? We'll do another one.
Mm-hmm. I'd love to. I'd love to.
To be continued on this.
To be continued. There's a lot to go into. Yeah,
I feel like I mean, I don't like using the word taboo, and it'd be great to not have to use the word taboo in the future. That we can just openly be comfortable with ourselves and have these types of conversations. And even connection seems taboo right now. I mean, we're talking some things way more than connection right now. Sex and lingam and all these other things. But just the word connection almost seems taboo today.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate you sharing, who you are and doing what you do every day and opening up, and I see every day another person relating to you and opening up, and so it's a beautiful thing to see the progression of what you're doing every day. Thank you
For all you're doing. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
To be connected.
Cheers to connection.
We're interconnected, all of us, whether people realize it or not.
Yeah.
We're all aspects of one another, and that's what I'd like to go deeper into next time, of that concept, so people can really understand that on a more relatable level.
Sure.
Yeah.
Zoe-Anna, you're always amazing. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you for taking the time doing this. It means the world to me, so thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll be talking to you soon.
I'll speak soon. Bye.
Zoe-Anna, everybody. Thank you.